Yay! Oh my God, welcome to the Red Hot Audience Boot Camp. I'm so excited for this. I've been telling those of you who've been in the waiting room here, I'm so excited to see all your faces. I know we're going to have a few more people joining us. And for those of you watching on the replay, welcome. If you don't already know me, I'm Cassie MacKenzie, and I'm a sales coach and a sales trainer. I'm a sales coach for like coaches and consultants, and I do sales training for pharmaceutical companies too. And I am so excited to be bringing this magic here because I feel like sales is something that people are like either afraid of or just want refinement on, or are ready to like go all in. Like we have all edges of the spectrum there. And I can tell you, like, even as somebody with 23 years of experience selling, I still do sales trainings. And so I know there's such a need to make it a lot more, comfortable and fun. Like it doesn't have to be any big thing. In fact, it should just be as simple as having a conversation just like this, right? But a lot of times we humans like to overcomplicate things, right? So here we are. But I always say that, you know, like when you have a business and say you're in your 9 to 5 right now, or maybe your business isn't where you want it to be because you need to make more money, you need to make more sales, you need to have more clients, right? And so when that's the case, then you need more leads, right? And I recently was a guest speaker, actually, and one of our attendees here was there, a guest speaker for my friend Keith's mastermind groups, and we got in this discussion around, and I was telling you guys about how I launched a program that was so awesome. I was blown away with how much value was in it. And I couldn't believe it when I like did not sell one seat into it. And the reason why, there were multiple reasons why this happened, but mainly it was because of I was talking to the wrong types of people. I was not niched down into my ideal client. I didn't have leads. I didn't have enough of the right people who were in front of me, who I was speaking to with my messaging. All right. So it's all interconnected. And that's why this week I wanted to really focus on leads, because leads are like the gasoline for your Maserati that's sitting in the front yard of your house, right? Like, and if you don't have gas in the car, then it's just a pretty expensive toy, which is kind of like our businesses, right? Like if the business isn't making money, then it's like kind of an expensive hobby. And trust me, I have thrown a lot of money into this expensive, what used to be hobby before too. So you're not alone. All right. Now, today I want to start with niching down into like the people who are ready to pay you, because you need to have all like a steady flow of leads coming into your world who are ready to pay you at all times. And this is at all different price points. If you have a value ladder that starts with maybe like a $9 like sales activity list, like I'm going to be selling soon, or all the way up to $20,000 for private coaching for a certain amount of time, right? Like the whole spectrum. Inside that spectrum, you have offers at different price points designed for the different client journey that your ideal client's on, right? But the point is we want to have the people who are ready to pay you now, not the people who are ready to pay you 6 months from now, right? And so that's why tomorrow and in the next couple of days, we're going to work on messaging, which to me is something that a lot of people really screw up. And then I'm going to help you nail down. And then we're also going to go into content. I'm huge on content. I feel like there are so many opportunities. That's why I'm dedicating an entire day to this. Opportunities to make yourself an expert online in a very short amount of time. Like I can't tell you the number of DM conversations I have with people, and it like really chaps my ass when I hear this, like to be honest with you. But when people are like, "Oh, I'm just like warming my audience up. I'm just creating awareness of their problems, and I'm gonna post about them. I'm gonna sell my product when it's ready, right? I'm gonna sell my offer when it's ready." And I'm like, why not now? Like, why not validate your offer now? Why not just go ahead and put it out there now? And get practice selling it and see if there's any refinement. Like I used to come up with my offers on the fly, like back when I had no structure in my business, which seemed really fun, but again, it was like an expensive hobby, right? And so, but still, I got a sales background. And I was talking about money. I love money mindset and manifestation. And so I sold a few courses around that, which were wildly successful. And it was funny because like, I didn't really do a lot of this work in behind the scenes, and so but I always was able to get people into these programs. And I tell you that because there's this passion. And when you know the people who you're meant to sell to, and you know your shit, right? You can sell programs that don't have to be fully fleshed out, right? Like I would create each module on the fly, like literally that day. I knew the whole, like I knew the gist of what I wanted to teach, right? I knew the transformation of what I wanted to teach. And we're going to hit on that when we do messaging tomorrow. But I didn't have all the modules worked out. So my point to you is if you don't have an offer yet, or if you have one that you want to do, then you can use this week to start to really solidify it. So by the end of the week, you could start selling it, to be honest with you. And I can't tell you how many times like you're leaving money on the table by not doing that. Especially in my big money vibes program. This is the one, for example, I remember like week 3, I discovered the book, The Big Leap. And I was like, holy shit, this is like gold. I've got to teach about this because it's all about like limiting beliefs and things that are holding you back and basically getting to your next level and staying there. And I created a whole new module around that. And so it not only made the results go from like $0 coming in to $9,000 coming in, but some people went up to 35,000 at that point after that module. And so I was like, holy shit, this is gold. And my point is, use this week, like fully go all in as though this is a paid program, because you're going to get like just as much value as if it was, and then work on selling it afterwards. Okay. But and if you have an offer now, I want you to bring it to the table. I want you to think about that one offer that you have while we progress through this week so that you feel comfortable selling it at the end. Because if you have your ideal client all nailed down and you have your messaging all wrapped up, and then you know what type of content to do, then you could seriously be looking like an expert on this topic in less than a month. And I tell you that because I've done it myself. I recently did it. I haven't always been on LinkedIn. I started on LinkedIn. I've always been on social media for like 3 or 4 years. So I get how social media works. But LinkedIn was like a whole different animal. I remember like the first day I came on, and my husband has been telling me about LinkedIn for like 3 years. Like, Cassie, you got to go check it out. It's kind of like Facebook. Like, you'd probably like it. I'm like, LinkedIn is a place you apply for jobs, Ian. Like, no, this is not happening. Right. Anyway, I hate having to say that he's right, but he was right. And I was able to, in 30 days, like less than 30 days, I had all sorts of opportunities coming my way, whether it was podcast interviews or guest spots or creating programs together with people, or having people in my DMs asking how to work together and then signing with me. Like, this was a very, very short amount of time. And it wasn't because I did anything special. I had a specific strategy and I followed it. And I followed the steps that I'm going to tell you guys this week to stand out as an expert and a leader with my content. And so here we go. Let's jump in. All right. Now, I want you to drop into the comments right now, who is your niche? Like, who's your ideal client? I'd love to know. Coaches. Okay, coaches who? Because I'm going to help you guys do this. And I want you to be really interactive in here. Because here's the thing, like, you can have the best offer in the world, but it's not going to be able to sell if the right people don't know about it. All right. So in my business, I really feel like it comes down to 3 things: your audience that you have, your authority that you bring to the table, and also your alignment, your energetic alignment. On Thursday, we're diving into energetics, and this is going to blow your mind. Like you're going to want to stay for the energetics. If you've ever had a coach who said, you can borrow my belief in you, like I kind of think that having to borrow belief from somebody else is bullshit. I'm going to teach you how to do it yourself, and how to like clean up your energy, how to like really be able to show up in your power, and do the damn thing so that you can bring in clients. So let me read it says, serial entrepreneurs that are rebranding main business or starting an additional business, progressive, tech savvy, decisive, active, committed, women in their midlife who want to create new habits to gain back their self-confidence. Okay, cool. Now, and then Dennis says coaches. So Dennis, can you tell me a little bit more about the coaches? Because what we want to do is you want to get really, really clear about who this person's going to be. Because the number one mistake that I see people make is that like you're afraid to leave people out because you're afraid to leave money on the table, and like kind of afraid to really get super specific about who this person is, and where they are either in their stage of business or their stage of life, and niching down even further because you don't want to leave people out and leave money on the table. And I want to tell you that I did that myself. And I was like, because I was a manifestation coach, and even like even as a business coach, right? Even the word business coach, if you're just starting out, it's not going to set you apart. It's not going to set you apart at all. There's a million business coaches out there. And if you think about it, like, and I used this analogy the other day in the program where I spoke, it's kind of like doctors, like if you have a doctor who is a generalist or like a PCP, and if you're not in America, PCP is a primary care physician, like just like the regular doctor you go to when you're sick, and they can treat anything from like a toenail fungus one day to somebody's insulin pump the next, and then might have somebody who comes in with mono, or I don't know, like some kind of chest infection, all in the same day. It could be all in the morning, right? Just everything. And then you got your specialists who you're going to go to, and that they know their shit about one specific, like really tightened up topic, right? Now, who do you believe is going to get you a better result? If you have a specific problem, like, I don't want to use cancer because that's kind of morbid, and it's Monday, and Monday's Monday already. So let's just say you have what's something fun that you want to have? What's a fun reason to go to the doctor? I don't know. Like, say you want plastic surgery. Let's just go with that. All right. Or say dermatologist, that's a good one. Say you think you have like a spot on your arm and you want it fixed up, or you want some Botox, right? I don't get Botox, but I know a lot of people who do. And, there's a lot of different doctors out there that can get you Botox. But what if there was a plastic surgeon, a choice between a plastic surgeon and a primary care physician that just got a great deal on Botox, and for a limited time, they're going to do it in their office, like during your lunch break, right? Or you had a choice between that, the plastic surgeon, or a plastic surgeon who's known for great results with Botox. Which one, if they all cost the same, which one would you choose to go to? Or which one's content and which one would you follow more, right? You'd probably follow the one who is the specialist who is known for Botox, right? Because it's important to you. You want that result. You don't want to look like, I don't know, one of those celebrities where you don't even recognize them anymore, right? Now, that's the same thing to do online, right? Like maybe that Botox guy didn't want to miss out on all the breast implants that he could have been giving instead, right? However, do you think somebody who goes to somebody for Botox could also get a breast implant? Yeah, of course they can, right? So I think a lot of times our fear with niching down is that you're afraid to leave people out because then they won't feel like you're for them. But that's why we gotta work on like the ideal client and what are the types of characteristics so that you can have more conviction that your client's going to know what to do. Does that make sense? Drop me a yes in the chat if this is landing. Because yes, okay, yep, all right. Because like your ideal client, and this is what we're going to get into right now, it's not a dumbass, right? There's a lot of dumbasses out there, but you don't want to work with them. You want to work with the smart people, right? You want to work with the people who get it, who are going to be dream clients, who aren't going to be in your inbox asking like how to find a paperclip in their own house, right? No, those are the people you want to work with anyway. You want to work with the ones who get it, who are like, oh my God, well, like, Amanda does branding over here. And right, is that what you said, Brand? I can't see the freaking chats. Okay, here they are. All right. Oh, starting an additional business. Oh no, serial entrepreneur. Like, well, she only works with ones that are like that have had like a whole lot of businesses in the past. Like maybe she wouldn't know how to help me start mine. Like, no, they're not going to think that. If they vibe with you and they like your content and they think that you're the authority and that you can help them, they're going to know that they're included in that group and that you're probably not going to turn them away if they have the right characteristics. Okay. So Dennis says busy coaches, but my offer is so niche down that I can apply it to any kind of coaches. But if I had to choose one kind, it would be business. Okay, cool. Well, why don't you choose business coaches? That would be great. And think about why. Like, why is this? Why is it that you want to work with them? All right. Now, what I'm going to do this backwards though. Okay. I want you guys to make a list right now because we're going to take about like just a few minutes. And if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to also do this. But I'm going to give you like 3 to 4 minutes to write down, and you can drop it in the chat or type out and drop it in the chat. Who is this? Who are you not for? All right. Who is your offer not for? And what I mean by that is like, who are the wrong people to apply? Let's make a list of the people who are not your ideal clients, right? Like, for example, the ones who don't want to do the work, right? Or the ones who don't have money. And I don't mean like they don't have money as a bad thing, but like they're not ready to invest in themselves, or they see it as money spent versus invested, right? Like, go ahead right now. I want you to start to make a list of the people for your offer that your offer is not for. And I'll give you like a few minutes to do that and then drop it in the chat. We're going to make this super good. Okay. So tire kickers. I love that. It's like such a good visual, right? Okay. So make a good list of this. And I even want you to think about like, what are some personal characteristics of this? Okay. Because I think a lot of times we might miss out, but then subconsciously create content for people not wanting to push them away. Or like, for example, like, so for the work that I do, which as a sales coach, and for my Sales Queen Takeover, which is my mastermind that I'm launching right now, it's not for someone who doesn't like kids, right? This is not for somebody who hates to travel, or who wants their coach to be sitting in the same space every time they talk to them, right? This is not for somebody who uses money as an excuse all the time, or just wants to hear, just wants me to tell them what they want to hear. Okay. Let's think about some personal characteristics of the type of person who you want to call in. All right. Like it's not for someone who doesn't listen, right? Like I really like I give like really great coaching, and if people ask me the same question over and over again, they just start to annoy me, like because they ask a question and they don't take the action, that I'm like, also I'm not for somebody who doesn't like you to be blunt, and who doesn't, want you to just tell it as it is, because that's I find that there's such a waste of time that can happen if a coach just tells you what you want to hear. um and I'm just telling you mine. These are just like to jog your creativity there. um all right, I'm gonna read some of these. Sorry, I got to run, watch recording. You got it, Kiki. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, freebie freeloaders, not motivated, don't want to do the work, don't believe they have a purpose and something to offer the world. Okay. Yes, branding, people that are absolutely new to business ownership and haven't been in the weeds before. Right. Tire kickers, people that micromanage. Yeah, I would like can't give up the control a little bit. All right. People who are looking for a quick fix, right? With their and let's expand even more on this. Like a quick fix with what? Is it with like let's work on, we're going to niche down your client so much that you're going to be able to create the content specifically for them. Okay. Because the number one problem that I see people make all the time is that, especially in my line of work, is that they don't know how to post content that's going to convert, right? They have no idea what converts on social media. And so there they don't have enough clients. And when I think about that, it usually goes down to not really having an idea around what the problems are, right? Like what are the problems that your ideal client is facing right now? Because that's going to be different for one person, right, than the next. So for example, if you're helping somebody with habits who has a full-time job and also stays, also wants to start a business, that's going to be a little bit different than somebody who has a full-time job and is a mom that doesn't want to have a business. You know what I mean? Like, what is the niche really going to be? How can you create this kind of like ecosystem that is your business, where you're going to be able to stand out from the crowd, right? Because there's a lot of people talking about creating new habits, right? And how to get the confidence there. It could be getting confidence through like being more vocal, right? It could be and I'm not picking on you, Chastity. I don't know, for some reason I'm on like maybe I'm the midlife person who wanted that. Do you want to say something? You can feel free to come on. Oh, you're typing. Okay. Through movement and nutrition. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. And then, all right, let me go to, so Amanda. So Amanda, you're helping serial entrepreneurs that are rebranding your main business or starting an additional business. So what type of business are they? What type of what type of business do your clients typically have? Or is there a specific like type that you want to start working with? Because I don't really know that, I'm not really getting that that's clear there. I get being progressive and tech savvy and decisive, active and committed, but like I'm that way. So are you looking for solopreneurs or entrepreneurs or people who are more of like a small business? Doesn't matter more. Okay. So where are you right now as far as the number of leads that are coming in versus where you want to be? Can you mind sharing that here too? And I'll go to Dennis. Dennis says these are the ones that you don't want, right? Like the nitpicky on deliverables details, one who are slow to respond or move forward, and the ones who don't trust the process, and the ones who don't create personal transformations. Well, yeah, right? Like if they don't get results, then more entrepreneurs, solo, small team. Okay, cool. I would put that in there, right? And then as far as entrepreneurs, what type of entrepreneur, right? Have you Or is there a type that you've enjoyed working with that you want to expand even further with that are that maybe, you know what I mean? Like when I would like I've worked with a lot of different types of coaches, and there's certain coaches that I think are like super fun to work with, and then certain types that I just don't naturally gravitate to, you know? And for a while I was kind of like burnt out from the spiritual community. So I was like, yep, not doing that anymore, you know, but it's cool because you get to change your niche all the, you know, whenever you want to, really. Although I recommend sticking with things, serial experience in business, not new to it or just starting. Okay. Okay. So stage it. Oh yeah, experience stage of business, but no specific like industry. I guess that's the word I was looking for. Any specific industry that you have there? Okay, because you know, I recommend choosing and really making a decision there around that exact type of person or industry that can be so niched down that it is going to make you stand out as such an expert when and you know, because you have all these, like I said, like with the doctors, you have all these generalists. There's so many choices, and we have all like hundreds and hundreds of new coaches coming online every single day. And the biggest problem is when you're blending in with everybody, and you blend in when your content sounds exactly the same, right? You can't get controversial about things or have that like polarizing content or really put your opinion out there if it's a generalized opinion. Okay, so somebody who might be and I'm just going to go because hold on, I need to turn my email off. I feel like for example, let's just go back to the conversation about habits. For example, if I'm working with somebody who has a habit of overworking on their like as an entrepreneur, right? Neglecting their family, overworking, getting mad when their kids come in, they burn themselves out. That's going to be a different discussion, right? Or even if you're dealing with like habits, trying to change habits with relation to like business coaches, for example, that could be a freaking gold mine, because you can have people who are overworking and burning themselves out, or you could have people who are just procrastinating and not taking action because they get overwhelmed, like they get wrapped up in those limiting thoughts and those habitual thoughts that are like, ooh, it's not perfect enough yet, or it's not enough yet, you know? And if you're able to speak to that in your content and able to speak to that one type of person that's really overworking themselves, because all you need is one client at a time, right? It's that power of one. And speaking to that one client and bringing them in, then speaking to the next one client and bringing them in, and so on and so on and so on. It creates that ripple effect, right? Because you want to know, and this is your next question, as a result of the work that you do, actually, what do you help them do? What is it? What is their biggest problem? I skipped over a question. What is the biggest problem that your ideal client faces? Because once you help them with this problem, there's a ripple effect. And that's where a lot of your conviction around yourself and your offer and your clients exist, which is what makes you like super magnetic. And we're going to get into that too. So, no specific industry. Okay. Are you bringing in the amount of clients that you really want to right now? No. Okay. So are you open to the idea of maybe niching that down a little bit, just because so that you can really do like what I'm saying right now, which is be able to stand out? Because so that you don't feel like your content is just going out into this void and not landing. You know what I mean? Find my thing. So go ahead and put in here, what is the problem? What is the main problem that, or you could put like a few different problems if you want, that your client is currently facing in this niche? difficulty standing out from the crowd. And what else? No time to take care of their social proof. And what, like, even digging deeper into that, what will that mean? They're tired, overweight, and lost their self-confidence. Cleaning up brand house after bootstrapping or DIYing for years. Not visual people. They don't know how to go about like visual, like create, like turning their, or creating their, making their vision a reality. They need help making sense of it all and their different ideas for their brand and how to realize that and how it's presented. Okay, yeah. So they have a hard time translating their brand into something visual. Is that right? Okay. Because that, even that, like, I think if you chose a specific type of industry, like even you can just do entrepreneurs, but maybe entrepreneurs in the tech space, entrepreneurs, it could be, you know, like so many, there's so many different types out there, but you want to like stand out by speaking directly to them, right? Now, clarifying it before translating into visual. Yeah. Like, yeah, translating it for sure. I love it. Okay. Now, and even, okay, so Dennis, you could even be like, I help business coaches, right? You could help business coaches stand out from the crowd. And let's see. And then we got Chastity says they're tired, overweight, and they've lost their self-confidence. Okay. Yeah. So this is their problems, right? And what other problems might they have? What's like two other problems that they have? Okay. This is hard work, guys. I do want to say, like, this is the stuff that is not fun because you're like, I don't want to have to do this. I'm just not going to do it. And that's what most people do. I mean, look how many people have hopped off of this call already. And if you are actually watching on the replay, this is the difference between your business making money and your business not making money. This is the stuff that the people who are floundering around out there with a hobby are avoiding doing because it's hard. It's hard. And you're battling with so much mental shit that's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to listen to that chick. I don't want to do it at all, right? Like, because I have to cut somebody out, right? And like, you got to, though, at the beginning. I really believe that you've got to get super clear about this because otherwise you're just going to blend in. You're just going to blend in and be like a number out there, you know? And it doesn't matter how great your branding is. It doesn't matter how great. I've seen people with really shitty branding making millions of dollars because they know who they're talking to, you know? And this is the type of step that creative people want to skip too, because it's an analytical thing, right? And I'm that person. I have skipped it so many times, but it's an analytical thing that requires us to use a different part of the brain, right? Yeah. Irritable and tired with brain fog, feeling anxious and depressed. And that's because they're not eating healthy. Is that right, Chastity? Beginning of perimenopause. That's right. Oh, that's just something I'm going to avoid. I'll put that nice little screen up there too. You play that, two can play it that game. But seriously though, seriously, this is, I'm not trying to like be hard on you guys and be like, no, let's dig deeper. If you don't dig deeper into this, if you don't get super clear, about this struggle that your person's having, then you're going to keep having the struggle that you're having, like, honestly. And like, even unless what you're doing is really working and bringing in a ton of leads and taking them from A to Z already, like, that's one thing. The thing that I see people make, like, here's what people do. What a lot of people do is they look online and they look at the successful coaches, right? Like the Richard Moores of the world, or the Jessica Yarborough is like a popular business coach. And they'll be like, well, she has a niche down. She doesn't have, like, hers is pretty broad there, and she does just fine. But she does just fine because she did this work early on, created a name for herself, and then branched out, right? It's almost like a tree, right? And if you don't do this, you're going to keep looking like a palm tree. And we want to look like an oak, like spreading that pollen, spreading that shit everywhere, like giving people allergies with our business, right? Like, we want to be like, we want warnings about our business being on like red alert right now at a 10 out of 10, like it is here in Florida right now with the pollen. It's subject near and dear to my heart right now, And so the way that you do that is creating the buzz. It's creating that wildfire factor. It's doing this work. It's getting super serious. And it's not copying what somebody else said or did and copying somebody else's verbiage, because that's not yours. That's not like what your heart and soul really wants to say. Like, if I look at some of these up here, they're kind of generalized, right? Like, not motivated, don't want to do the work, don't believe they have a purpose, is something they offer the world. I think people generally do feel like they have a purpose. They're just like, it's hard work to figure out what it is, right? So maybe the niche isn't so much helping people who don't know what their purpose is. It's more like the ones who are avoiding finding it because it feels like it's too hard, right? And they just want some help doing that. So let me read some of these. The proper promise is to help busiest coaches convert clients faster. Hey, that's great. I love that. And they're irritable, tired, brain fog, feeling anxious. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just read that with perimenopause. Yeah. Okay. Now, what is the ripple effect? After you guys are done together, what is the impact of your work together? For example, for me, as a sales coach, if I can help my client bring in and know where to find, hold on, let me write myself, my kids took all of my good pens and left markers. So they were here at my desk earlier. Okay. So I'm writing my note in a giant marker. Okay. Dennis knows my struggle, I'm sure. All right. So here's the thing. If you don't, I'm going to skip the ripple effect thing and go into a little bit of a rant. If you don't know and have an idea of what this niche is and niche down really, really far like that, then you're going to have a hard time finding them quickly online. All right. And I wish I said this sooner because this is a big point. If you can't find them, then you know what I mean? Like, the biggest part about one of the best strategies to use, I want to say, with getting like an audience full of your ideal clients is connecting on LinkedIn, right? If you don't have a specific type of person to look for, though, then you're kind of like spreading the net really, really wide, but not really catching the big fish that you want to, right? Wouldn't you rather be able to go and it'd be like shooting fish in a barrel versus trying to find one big one in the whole ocean, you know? Not in the way that you do that is by getting super clear about who it is that you're working with. Because if you have, like Dennis, how much easier would it be to be able to go and connect just with business coaches, for example? Now, I like the fact that you say coaches because coaches get a lot of testimonials, right? So I'm not saying that you have to niche down like further and further, but I'm just saying, like, say you were just trying to go for any type of entrepreneur out there, right? Like a couple people here are. If you not, and I'm not calling out. But like, if you were trying to like cast that wide net and just friend anybody on the internet that had a credit card, it'd be really, really hard to know and refine in your audience, who to speak to, right? Like when you look at your post and it says, I had 1,000 engagements here, wouldn't it be better to have like 90% confidence that all 1,000 of those engagements were with coaches, right? Versus, well, it could have been with anybody. Like it could have been like, I don't know, this VA over here. It could have been like this, but I don't want to like not connect with that VA. You know what I mean? Like obviously people can follow you, but like having that direct audience that then when you're connecting with them, and then you become a connection, and then you start like an inbound and outbound DM sales strategy, then you know that you are connecting with somebody who potentially is an ideal client for you. They check off the biggest box, which is they're a coach, right? Personality wise, you can kind of gauge that if you take the time to do it before you friend them. You can kind of be like, well, that person just, they look a little stodgy and I don't really like working with like a fuddy-duddy, so I'm not going to friend them. You know what I mean? Or like the content that they put up there just isn't kind of like, I don't know, like there was one woman that was just kind of like judgmental towards people for like what they ate and like how Americans are. And I'm like, I get that enough at home. So no, I don't really think like this is a good match for me. But like, wouldn't it be so great to know that the majority of the people that are watching your content and liking it and commenting and even hiding out behind the scenes like a peeping Tom are literally the type of fish that you're looking for, right? Be like, so it's so much more strategically it's better, but I think energetically too, it does something for you when you're like, either way, I know that my ideal people are seeing my content, right? Like you have that confidence. You don't have to convince yourself further that your content might be landing, because you know that it is. And the way you've done that is, especially starting out, if you don't have the leads that you want, then you need to build an audience full of them to begin with, and then create content that speaks to them and their problems. And that's part of the work that we're doing right here, right? But also, if you don't have the leads that you want, then it's up to you to go out and get them. And this is how you do it, right? You've got to start at this foundation where it's like, okay, here's who I'm here for, here's what I do, and these are the types of people who I work with. And then after that, after you become, like create the name for yourself, you don't feel like the best kept secret on the internet anymore, then it's kind of like, okay, people naturally follow you. That word of mouth starts, like your testimonials, your social proof, right? But like to start that initial just social proof in general, which is, it's such a great psychological thing, to be honest. I've got this book, Learn Hypnosis, from when I became a hypnosis trainer, became certified in hypnosis. And there's a whole chapter about social proof in here. And I was like, oh, I forgot that was like a thing. I thought it was something that some of these like buzzwords for people on the internet, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's a real psychological thing. So I love it. Okay. Now, this is also where like you're going to start to build your authority, right? Now, I want you to think though about that ripple effect, because when I help somebody build their audience full of hot leads, right? And then they start selling in the DMs and start making sales to the ideal clients. It doesn't just impact their bank account, right? It's not just about the money that comes in. Say, for instance, I'll use you, Dennis, as an example. So Dennis helps coaches create video testimonials. And the video testimonials, the social proof from the work that this coach does with their clients. So say Chastity here is Dennis's client. And Chastity's helped all of these women who are perimenopausal, who feel like they've gained weight, they don't have confidence, there's brain fog, they're just burnt out. And Chastity has helped like 3 or 4 women to do this and create video testimonials of their glowing reviews. So she goes and posts them, right? And then those video testimonials give 10 more people the confidence to hire her, because they're like, oh my God, these are real people. Her work is so great that these people took the time to write a video or to record a video testimonial of their work together. And you get them to talk about the ways that the results you got with them, and the ways their lives are changed. Well, behind the scenes, though, with those 4 people, there's this ripple effect. There's the people in their household, the lives that are changed. There's maybe even like the crossing guard outside the elementary school. Like the client smiles at the crossing guard, and then that crossing guard feels like there's good people in the world still. So she goes home and feels great about herself and treats her husband better. You know what I mean? And then the husband treats somebody else better because their like vibration was raised just a little bit. You see, like where the waves are really gone just from let me rephrase that, amazing video testimonial, right? From just one client that came in through Chastity's World can create a ripple effect of thousands of individual ripple effects easily, right? So I want you to think about that right now and drop it in here, because this is going to help you to create that conviction in the offers that you're selling, which gives you a lot of that faith, right? But it also helps you understand and get more specific about ways that you can talk to your client about ways that their lives are going to be improved too, right? So go ahead and take like 5 minutes to think about what's the ripple effect of the work that you do together on your clients, on your personal world, and in the world that surrounds your clients as well, in all 3 of those areas. Are you guys getting any idea there? Okay. Okay, so this is like a really foundational work. You guys have done great to really get an idea of like describing that one person or type of business that is your niche that you help. What do they call themselves? What's the problem that they have? And then the other thing I want you to think about is, what have they already tried? What are the things that they've already tried to fix this problem that they have? And this is going to wrap up what we're doing today. But I hope, here, I'm just going to let you guys write that down first, though. Because like for me, as a sales coach, what people have already tried is they've tried to figure it out themselves, right? A lot of, or they've tried to go sell things online or create content that sells, or they've created like really weak calls to action and haven't gotten a response. Or they've tried just promoting their offer through their posts, but not doing any DM outreach. Or if you guys feel free to add what your people have tried in here too to the comments, and I can help. But the other thing that I see people do a lot is, especially in the DMs, is they'll invite people in, so they'll get inbound leads, and then as soon as somebody asks about the price, they'll answer, oh, here's the price, right? They'll answer the question. So they try to sell into the DMs, but they don't really know how to. They don't know how to start a conversation, even if it's an inbound lead asking about a specific offer, and therefore they end up losing out on the sale. And they lose out on a customer that could be a customer for life. So that's why for me, it's super important for people to know how to do this, because it's like outbound cold, kind of not cold sales, but like having to do sales in a way where you're starting a conversation and starting a relationship is like my genius zone. So when I see people who have tried possibly some of those like cold outreach strategies where it's like literally cold as like the pitching right as soon as you connect with somebody, like it obviously doesn't work for a reason, right? So these are some of the things that like my ideal client has tried, or maybe they've just tried to make themselves start conversations in the DMs, but they don't really know how to, or they've done coffee chats and it's not led to any clients, or hired other business coaches and it hasn't led to into clients, because they don't really know how to do it in a way that creates that relationship. So if you want to add anything into there for your niche, just let me know. But it's really important to do this. It's really important to get clear here, because this is going to set the stage for everything else that we do this week. So if you want to take some extra time today, feel free. If you're in the Voxer group, go in and let me explain how this works too, because we have a few people who are going to be joining us in the Voxer group this week. So I don't offer this often, but I did for this event, because this is like, I feel like this is one of these events that it's going to be like a lot of back and forth between us, like any questions I can ask along the way, like any like bouncing any ideas off of me, getting my advice as well, for like your messaging, or where to find your leads, or how to connect with them, or how to do that, anything lead related, because leads are going to be the gasoline for your sales. Anything there. If you are in the Voxer group, then you will have access to me during the day, like today through Thursday. And you'll be able to ask me any specific questions about the work that we're doing together. That group is opening right after this call. And you can, like for those of you who are in the group, I will send you my Voxer link and you can connect with me and get into the group. And then if you're not in it, it's only $49 to do this experience for the week. And I'm so excited about that, because usually my Voxer coaching is way more than that. And I love making it like a fun little group like this that we can make some big strides. So also, we'll be tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing messaging. This is super big, guys, because I feel like messaging is one of the areas where it gets really fluffy. So make sure you come with all of your ideas around the problems that you solve for people. What are the results that you get for them too? Like what keeps them up at night? Really think about this niche that you've created today, and what keeps them up at night? What is the problem that they're facing? Because this is going to set the stage for all of your content too, and setting you up as an authority so you can start signing clients. All right. Do you have any questions? Anybody want to jump in here? No, all good. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10. Bye.